And now I'm live on YouTube. Hey, everybody. Good morning. I wish Elon Musk would share with me the release of the Twitter files. They started 41 minutes ago. I got up 15 minutes ago. Somebody texted me, though. Let me know it was here. So I'm going to go over the Twitter files. How am I looking? Okay. Good morning, everybody. What it is. We have the Twitter file 7 dropping. Do you want music or without music? Oh, the mic is probably bad. Let's see. If there's a problem with the mic, it should be fixed now. What it is, everybody, I'll let people tune in for a second. I've been bringing you guys the Twitter files every time they drop. Every day we're expecting every day we're expecting the Fauci files, and the Fauci files don't drop. Every day we're expecting the Fauci files, and the Fauci files don't drop. Today there's a huge Twitter Spaces with Dr. Malone, I think, Steve Kirsch. It starts in 10 minutes, actually. So there's a big Twitter Spaces going on COVID. Oh, don't tune out. Am I giving you a reason to tune out? I'm going to go over these Twitter files, and then I'll tune into that. That will not be appropriate content for YouTube. But yeah, there is a Twitter Spaces going on, and it'll probably be recorded. Who's hosting it? That guy Mario, who hosts all the big spaces that have been going on Twitter. If you're into Twitter Spaces, oh, the poll must be over by now, and I don't know the results of it. So we'll check into that. I better get into reading the FBI files because they're dropping now, where they haven't finished dropping yet. So you're getting the news fresh. So welcome to it. This is the Lift the Veil channel. It's morning where I live. It's 8:53 a.m. Twitter file 7, the FBI and the Hunter Biden laptop. How the FBI and intelligence community discredited factual information about Hunter Biden's foreign business dealings, both after and before the New York Post revealed the contents of his laptop October 14th, 2020. Okay. I have to get a drink of water. Hold on. Okay. In Twitter files number 6. In Twitter files number 6, we saw the FBI relentlessly seek to exercise influence over Twitter. I'll turn off the music. It's over Twitter, including its content, its users, and its data. In Twitter files number 7, we present evidence pointing to an organized effort by representatives of the intelligence community aimed at senior executives at news and social media companies to discredit leaked information about Hunter Biden before and after it was published. The story begins in December 2019 when a Delaware computer store owner named John Paul Mack, Isaac, contacts the FBI about a laptop that Hunter Biden had left with him. On December 9th, 2019, the FBI issues a subpoena for and takes Hunter Biden's laptop. That's on December 9th, 2019. The FBI actually took the laptop, and there's a copy of the forms. By August 20th, by August 2020, Mac Isaac still had not heard back from the FBI, even though he had discovered evidence of criminal activity. And so he emails Rudy Giuliani, who was under FBI surveillance at the time. In early October, Giuliani gives it to the New York Post. And there's the article from the New York Post. Smoking gun email reveals how Hunter Biden introduced Ukrainian energy firm to Joe, I guess. Shortly before 7 p.m. on October 13th, Hunter Biden's lawyer, George Mazières, emails JP Mac Isaac. Hunter and Mazières had just learned from the New York Post that its story about the laptop would be published the next day. Okay. And here's an email that says, subject, George Mazières' contact information. John Paul, thank you for speaking with me tonight. As I indicated, I'm a lawyer for Hunter Biden, and I appreciate you reviewing your records on this matter. Thank you. That is the lawyer for Hunter Biden. So that was on October 13th, 2020. So Hunter Biden was aware the laptop was real. Where did he get these emails? I wonder where he got these emails. At 9:22 Eastern Time, FBI Special Agent Elvis Chan sends 10 documents to Twitter's then head of site integrity, Yoel Roth, through Teleporter, a one-way communication channel from the FBI to Twitter. And here's an email from Elvis Chan, who we've seen before, is an FBI guy who is in touch with Yoel Roth. And it's an email saying that he's going to be sending 10 documents to download. The next day, October 14th, 2020, the New York Post runs its explosive story revealing the business dealings of President Joe Biden's son, Hunter. Every single fact in it was accurate. And yet, within hours, Twitter and other social media companies censored the New York Post article, preventing it from spreading and, more importantly, undermining its credibility in the minds of many Americans. Why is that? What exactly happened? On December 2nd, Matt Taibbi described the debate inside Twitter over its decision to censor a wholly accurate article. Since then, we have discovered new info that points to an organized effort by the intel community to influence Twitter and other platforms. Okay, you guys got it? So this looks like the FBI actually may have told Twitter to suppress it, which would be First Amendment violation, right? Previously in the releases, we saw interference with the Hunter Biden laptop. I think that was the first, weren't the first drops about the Hunter Biden laptop? So this is indicating that the FBI was involved. And remember Mark Zuckerberg on Joe Rogan? He said that the FBI had been in touch with them about Russian interference and to be on the lookout for something. So he indicated that maybe the FBI was the one that told them to suppress the files. So here we're looking at something similar. Oops, my chat. I think my chat broke down. Let me see. I might have to refresh my page. Unless nobody's chatting. You guys joining me for the show? You guys know that this is at a special time. Okay, here it says, first, it's important to understand that Hunter Biden earned tens of millions of dollars in contracts with foreign businesses, including ones linked to China's government, for which Hunter offered no real work. Here's an interview by investigative journalist Peter Schweizer. Okay, that's 9 minutes and 38 seconds. Do you guys want to hear it? It's all part of the files. This is Hunter Biden earned tens of millions of dollars in contracts with foreign governments, including ones linked to China's government, for which Hunter did no real work. And here's, okay, let me make sure my sound is set up right. All right, play this. It's
has benefited from commercial deals overseas to the tune of tens of millions of dollars. That's not in dispute. That's based on the so-called suspicious activity reports that the Treasury Department has released because a U.S. Senate committee asked for it. These documents show the flow of funds from Russian, Ukrainian, and Chinese sources, among others. So we know there's been a flow of funds. We also know that the people sending that money have very close relationships with the government. So in the case of China, for example, which I believe is the most troubling of the group of foreign donors, you can actually look on the Hunter Biden laptop and find the businessmen who secured these deals for Hunter Biden. There are four gentlemen that are named. If you look at those four gentlemen, each and every one of them has close ties to the highest levels of Chinese intelligence. So, for example, one gentleman who he calls the super chairman, at the same time that Hunter Biden secures a deal with him that translates into about $20 million, that same Chinese businessman is business partners with the Vice Minister of State Security in China, who is responsible for foreign recruitments. This has been reported in Hong Kong. This is not just Peter Schweizer saying it. So you have the flow of funds. You have the flow of funds from foreign parties that are linked to the government and intelligence services. And then you have the third component of this, which is there's no discernible service or product or anything that Hunter Biden has brought to the table. So the question has to be asked, why are foreign actors like these four businessmen in China arranging deals worth tens of millions of dollars to the Bidens and not getting anything in return? And what's important to point out here is that Hunter Biden is the one who's the signatory on these deals, but the laptop also shows that money is fungible within the Biden family. We know that $2 million that arrived from China ended up with his uncle, James Biden. And we also know that Hunter Biden paid some of his father's bills while he was vice president of the United States. So this is not a Hunter Biden question. This is a larger Biden family question.
Now, one of the things that I hear from Democrats is that they say, well, you know, this is kind of common. And look, the Trump family had all sorts of business dealings with Russia. Is that true?
So the Trump family does actually have some deals in China, although they kind of were unwinding. And I raised questions about that and some of the finance deals that Jared Kushner was involved in the Middle East. And those need scrutiny and they need analysis. And by the way, they were scrutinized by the mainstream media. So that's a good thing. The Biden deals weren't, but there's also a crucial difference here in my mind. And that is the deals that the Trumps had with China. The one that really translated into money was a deal that Ivanka Trump had for the manufacturing of shoes and other things in her apparel line. That was a line started, 10, 15 years ago. My point being, those were actual legitimate businesses that predate any involvement in. You certainly watch them and be aware of them and take them into account. With the Bidens, we're not talking about that. Hunter Biden, after his father becomes vice president of the United States, suddenly decides he's going to go into international finance, ill-defined. He has no background. He has no experience. And he's not doing deals in London or Tokyo. He immediately goes to Russia, China, and Ukraine for those deals. So I believe all foreign deals should be scrutinized, but you have to differentiate, in my mind, the difference between, say, Michael Bloomberg, who his company Bloomberg has major business dealings in China, which need to be watched. But that's a legitimate business. You cannot compare that to Rosemont Seneca Partners, which is, frankly, in a large extent, a fictitious business entity that was funneling money to Hunter Biden and his family.
Now, what about Trump's relationship with Russia?
Well, there was no question. There were discussions, and there was a sort of verbal agreement to build a Trump Tower in Moscow, but there was no real exchange of money in that case. And again, I would say, look, that deserves scrutiny, but Donald Trump actually has built hotels and condos around the world. Certainly, it's not appropriate to be doing that while you're a candidate or president of the United States. But to somehow put that in a nefarious light when you're ignoring a business that has no history that predates your father being vice president of the United States, and you have zero track record in it, I don't think you can compare those two very effectively.
All right, that's enough of it. It's 9 minutes, but I'll play you that much. He kept saying, but what about Trump in Russia? But what about Trump in Russia? I don't know what's up with that guy who was asking questions. All right, here we go. Moving on. Thanks for joining the show. Give the stream a thumbs up if you would. And if you want to support the stream, you can drop a super chat, or I pinned a link to the top of the chat for my Buy Me a Coffee. And you can go there and drop a coffee or become a member and leave a note, and I'll read those on the stream. Still, at the end of the stream, we have to talk about the results of Elon Musk's poll, which I haven't even seen yet, which I assume said that he's not going to be CEO anymore. And I see MySpace Tom is trending. I saw MySpace Tom threw his hat into the ring. I thought that was hilarious. I didn't even know he was on Twitter. All right, here we go. Number 12. And yet, during all of 2020, the FBI and other law enforcement agencies repeatedly primed Yoel Roth to dismiss reports of Hunter Biden's laptop as a Russian hack and leak operation. This is from a sworn declaration by Roth given in December 2020. Okay, here we go. This is from the sworn declaration. It says, since 2018, I've had regular meetings with the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, the Department of Homeland Security, the FBI, and industry peers regarding election security. During these weekly meetings, the federal law enforcement agencies communicated that they expected hack and leak operations by state actors might occur in the period shortly before the 2020 presidential election, likely in October. I was told in these meetings that the intelligence community expected that individuals associated with political campaigns would be subject to hacking attacks, and that material obtained through those hacking attacks would likely be disseminated over social media platforms, including Twitter. These expectations of hack and leak operations were discussed throughout 2020. I also learned in these meetings that there were rumors that a hack and leak operation would involve Hunter Biden. Okay. Well, here we go, guys. This is this might be the most explosive of the Twitter files so far. I know everybody's waiting for the Fauci files. This shows that the FBI knew about the laptop all the way back in 2019, and yet repeatedly throughout 2020 warned social media companies that there might be a hack and leak involving Hunter Biden. So they basically knew about the laptop, had the laptop, didn't do anything with it for like a year. Then it was leaked to the New York Post. And then the New York Post published it. And in the meantime, the FBI the whole time was preparing social media companies to suppress it, which is suppression of speech, which is a First Amendment violation. So, I mean, there need to be congressional hearings about this. I guess there'll be Senate hearings because the Democrats aren't going to want to look into it. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I forgot how it's set up now. The Republicans run the House. So they'll set up hearings once they're totally sworn in and stuff. Number 13, they basically did the same. They did the same to Facebook, according to Mark Zuckerberg. Okay, so here we go. This is what Zuckerberg said about it.
the background here is the FBI, I think, basically came to us, some folks on our team, and was like, "Hey, um, just so you know, like you should be on high alert. We thought that there was a lot of Russian propaganda in the 2016 election. We have it on notice that basically there's about to be some kind of dump that's similar to that." The background here is the FBI, I think, basically came to us, some folks on our team, and was like, "Hey,
He already said it,
just
right?
so you know, like you should be on high alert. There was."
Yes, and there is no link to the Buy Me a Coffee on. So yeah, that's what Zuckerberg said. I remember that. I already mentioned it to you. So it sounds like the FBI knew about the Hunter Biden laptop and chose to inform social media companies that the laptop was not going to be, that there was going to be something coming out that they should suppress. It's terrible. I mean, really, 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 really not cool. So what Zuckerberg said when people pointed it out was worth pointing out. Zuckerberg basically leaked this information before this information was leaked. So, and they knew about the laptop starting all the way back in 2019. Number 14, were the FBI warnings of a Russian hack and leak operation related to Hunter Biden based on any new intel? They weren't. Quote, through our investigations, we did not see any similar competing intrusions to what had happened in 2016, unquote, admitted FBI agent Elvis Chan in November. And here are some documents. It says, we did not see any similar competing intrusions to what happened in 2016. Okay, so here's some kind of, I don't know where these documents are from. This is Elvis Chan, November 29th, 2022. And it's to talk about hack and dump or hack and leak operations. And it's a question, did anyone at these meetings tell the industry participants to expect a Russian hack and dump operation or hack and leak operation shortly before the 2020 election cycle? And this says, the witness says, from my recollection, I remember that the FBI warned that I or someone from the FBI warned that social media companies about the potential for a 2016 style DNC. Let's see if this goes to the next page. This is where Twitter always crashes on me. Hack and dump operation. So he told, so this is a deposition that shows that they did warn social media companies about the potential for a hack and dump operation. Let me see if this will scroll to the next page. Then it says, throughout our investigation, we did not see any similar competing intrusions to what happened in 2016. So although from our standpoint, we had not seen anything, we specifically in an abundance of caution warned the companies in case they saw something that we did not. So yeah, there it is. So I'll click on this. We're pretty close to real time here, ladies and gentlemen. So we're at number 15. Indeed, Twitter executives repeatedly reported very little Russian activity. For example, on September 24th, 2020, Twitter told FBI it had removed 345 largely inactive accounts linked to previous coordinated Russian hacking attempts. They had little reach and low follower accounts. And here's a message update on Russia accounts that said they have little reach and low follower counts. And this yesterday there was an update from Matt Taibbi that said that Twitter had reported that there wasn't that much state actor foreign propaganda going on, and the FBI objected, basically said, what are you talking about? Of course, there's lots of activity, but the reports are that there wasn't that much foreign activity, especially from state actors and stuff, or from known Russian accounts. They didn't have much activity and they didn't have very many followers. Number 16, in fact, Twitter debunked false claims by journalists of foreign influence on its platform. Quote, we haven't seen any evidence to support that claim, unquote, by Ben Collins of foreign controlled bots. Quote, our review thus far shows small scale domestic troll effort, unquote. And then here's an article. Let's see. Just saying that we haven't seen any evidence of foreign controlled bots. Let's see if I can click on this. This is to from Elvis Chan. And then Yoel Roth says, we haven't seen any evidence to support this claim. So it quotes an article from NBC News, from Ben Collins at NBC News, about bot behavior, disinformation bots. And it says, do we have anything to worry about? And Yoel Roth says there was no evidence to support the claim that there was Russian interference. And then the article is about a white nationalist group posing as Antifa called for violence on Twitter. Number 17, after FBI asks about a Washington Post story on alleged foreign influence and a pro-Trump tweet, Twitter's Roth says, quote, the article makes a lot of insinuations, but we saw no evidence that was the case here. And in fact, a lot of strong evidence pointing in the other direction. So this is where the FBI keeps asking whether there's foreign interference. And even Yoel Roth and Twitter, they keep reporting, no, there's really not that. There really isn't Russian interference going on, because the news kept trying to report that there was disinformation campaigns and Russian influence. So this is an article from the Washington Post that says black voters are being targeted in disinformation campaigns, echoing the 2016 Russian playbook. And Roth says, oh, no, it's not true. Basically, that it's not Russian interference, it's not Russian disinformation, that it's actually real. Maybe like in this case, it says black voters are targeted by disinformation campaigns. Like maybe it was actually real black people and not Russians posing as black people. Number 18, it's not the first time that Twitter's Roth has pushed back against the FBI. In January 2020, Roth resisted FBI efforts to get Twitter to share data outside the normal search warrant process. So here's a question from Elvis Chan to share data that they wouldn't normally share. So let me take a look at that. We're up to real time on these tweets now. So we're caught up. This is a query from Elvis Chan that says they want that says here's a query. Says a few years ago, Twitter said they would no longer provide their data feed to members of the intelligence community. My colleagues wanted to know if that policy has changed or if you would be willing to change it. My colleagues are currently contracting with a vendor for an analytical tool for open source intelligence. The commercial version of this tool includes the Twitter data feed. However, the feed was disabled because the vendor said they did not want to violate their terms of service with Twitter. My colleagues are wondering if Twitter would be open to revising its terms of service to allow this vendor to continue having access to the Twitter feed. My colleagues are happy to meet in person. And Yoel Roth says no, I guess. As discussed, here's from Yoel Roth. As discussed, here's my suggested response. At this point, we don't think a call directly with your colleague at the Ford is the best path forward. As a rule, we're not able to directly discuss data licensing relationships with third parties. We have a longstanding policy prohibiting the use of our data products and APIs for surveillance and intelligence gathering purposes, which we would not deviate from. Ultimately, we want to be good partners to government and help combat our shared threats, but the best path for NSA or any part of government to request information about Twitter users or their content is in accordance with valid legal process. Well, shit. At least they stood up to the FBI a little bit. I mean, that's something. So Yoel Roth, at least they didn't do everything the FBI asked them to. All right, there's a new tweet. Pressure had been growing. Quote, we have seen a sustained, if uncoordinated effort by the intelligence community to push us to share more info and change our API policies. They are probing and pushing everywhere they can, including by whispering to congressional staff. So this is internal email about the inquiries from the FBI. And it says we should stay connected and keep a solid front against these efforts. My sense from the exchange below is that Elvis is sending a message he was asked to, but he doesn't feel ownership of it. And a polite discussion will suffice to answer the email. So he's just saying they're trying to stand up to FBI, asking for too much data, which is good. Time and again, FBI asked Twitter for evidence of foreign influence, and Twitter responds that they aren't finding anything worth reporting. This goes along with Matt Taibbi's reporting from yesterday. Okay, now we're to real time. So let's take a look at Elon Musk's poll. Let's see. Now we're to real time. So we got FBI interference, how much the FBI is trying to interfere and surveil people. This is a good drop. This is a good drop. So now we're to the slow part where we're waiting for the tweets to come out. So the thread is rolling out. This is Twitter Files 7. The Fauci files are trending. Hashtag Fauci Files is trending, but that is not what dropped today. Every day it's supposed to be the Fauci Files, and every day it's not. Okay, let's see what Elon Musk. The poll ended with him losing, or people voting for him to step down as the head of Twitter, 57.5% to 42.5%. So thanks for the tip, Vogan Filter. Appreciate it. Thanks for the super chat, Matthew Katzis, who says number 12 has a link that shows more. Okay. I'll go back to it since I have time. Oh, I see. It has a link, yes. To as a link to the document that it came from, which is about the hack and leak operations, the priming of Twitter and Facebook for something they called a hack and leak or hack and dump operation. All right, you guys doing okay? I'll check my buy me a coffees. And now we're waiting on the tweets to come out. Let's see. There's something like 5 minutes between tweets, it looks like, and we're up to number 20, which was 4 minutes ago. So we'll keep looking for updates. So yeah, the story is that Twitter knew. The story is FBI got the laptop late 2019, spent 2020 warning social media companies about a potential hack and leak operation, warning that it might involve Hunter Biden, even though they knew the Hunter Biden laptop was real. And then when the Hunter Biden laptop came out, it got censored. Hey, everybody in the chat. You guys doing okay? Hey, we did get a few people tuned in. Give me a thumbs up while you're here. I'll check my buy me a coffees. If you want to support the stream, I went live as soon as I woke up today to cover this. Basil and Syra dropped a coffee. Thank you for that. Says, thanks for doing these live streams. I love your show. Do you think there is any chance there will be criminal prosecutions over the Hunter Biden dealings? Yes, I do think there's a chance. I do. There will be hearings about Hunter Biden, and then they'll have to decide on charges from there. But I do think there's evidence of Hunter Biden crimes, and I don't think that he can hide from them forever, especially with Republicans in control of the Congress. So I think there are chances that there will be something about Hunter Biden. Whether it's the gun he left in the rental car, the gun and the drugs he left in the, or there's that gun charge where he got a gun and he lied about his previous drug use or something like that. So there is definitely like a specific instance where they have him breaking the law. And I think it's on that gun charge, which is, again, he got a gun and lied on its background check, I believe. Okay. So, yeah, I think there could be a prosecution. Thanks, Stephanie, for becoming a member. I appreciate it. Says, thanks for your work. I'm in upstate New York and watch your previous night's show with my coffee in the mornings. That's great. So you watch the show before I even wake up, probably. That's cool. That's a good way to consume the show. All right. Let's see where we're at. A new tweets. Despite Twitter's pushback, the FBI repeatedly requests information from Twitter that Twitter has already made clear it will not share outside of normal legal channels. So despite Twitter's pushback, the FBI repeatedly requests information that Twitter has made clear it won't share. And this is an article. This is from Yoel Roth, who says that as for VPN information, we would need legal process to provide further information about the IPs, subnets, providers, etc., associated with the authentication IPs from these accounts. So this is an email where somebody from the counterintelligence division wants to know about accounts using VPNs and VoIP. So it says, would Twitter be open to sharing which service providers these VPN IP addresses resolve to? Also, while I understand obtaining the actual VPN IP addresses associated with the respective accounts would likely require a legal process, would Twitter be open to sharing which service providers these VPN addresses resolve to? And it says they would need legal process to talk about that. Oops. Looks like Twitter crashed. Let's see if it resolves. The page kind of crashed on me. I might have to refresh. This is bad from the FBI. Okay, it crashed. They just they're trying to do, so this shows how much surveillance they're trying to do. With Twitter, if they're doing it with Twitter, they're doing it with the other social media companies too. Number 22, then in July 2020, the FBI's Elvis Chan arranges for temporary top secret security clearances for Twitter executives so that the FBI can share information about threats to the upcoming elections. And this is a email from Elvis Chan saying that they would get temporary security clearances. On August 11th, 2020, the FBI's Chan shares information with Twitter's Roth relating to the Russian hacking organization APT28 through the FBI's secure one-way communications channel Teleporter. So this sharing of information about relating to a Russian hacking organization, APT28. What is that? Cozy Bear or Cozy? Here are the memes, how the Democrats' Christmas is going this year. Here are more memes. Twitter files. And then it shows how there have to be other files coming out too. Yeah, we have to know about YouTube. I'm curious if the government ever asked to censor any of my videos. Recently, Yoel Roth told Kara Swisher that he had been primed to think about the Russian hacking group APT28 before news of the Hunter Biden laptop came out. When it did, Roth said, it set off every single one of my finely tuned APT28 hack and leak campaign alarm bells. Play that.
We learn about DC leaks, and we learn about the intersection between APT28, a unit of Russian military intelligence, a hacking group. And so the morning of the Hunter Biden story in the New York Post happens, and it was weird, right? We didn't know what to believe. We didn't know what was true. There was smoke. And ultimately for me, it didn't reach a place where I was comfortable removing this content from Twitter. But it set off every single one of my finely tuned APT28 hack and leak campaign alarm bells.
So it looked possibly problematic.
Everything about it looked like a hack and leak. We learn about DC leaks, and we learn about the intersection.
So there you go. That's because he learned from the FBI. And that's Kara Swisher. Kara Swisher, I think she's one of the ones who called for the banning of Donald Trump. Kara Swisher and Yoel Roth. They have something in common. Let's see. Okay. So we have this, the FBI monkeying with Twitter, preparing Twitter to suppress the documents from Hunter Biden, asking for way too much information, giving them information about APT28, which I don't know if that's what they call a Cozy Bear. I never knew if those hacking groups were a real thing or if they're some kind of CIA job. All right, so we're to real time on the FBI files. This is the FBI file 7. So which one of the FBI files is going to be, FBI files, I said. Twitter files. Which one of the Twitter files is going to be the Fauci files? That's the question. Matt Roth says, do you believe anything this guy Roth is saying? Well, at least he told the FBI to pound sand about getting surveillance data. I mean, that's the one positive you can say from this whole thing. At least they pushed back a little bit, but they got conned by the FBI into suggesting that the Hunter Biden laptop was going to be a hack and leak operation. And it looked like a hack and leak operation, they said. You guys doing okay? So we're to real time. This is happening right now live on Twitter. Number 25. In August 2020, FBI's Chan asks Twitter, does anyone there have top secret clearance? When someone mentions Jim Baker, Chan responds, I don't know how I forgot him. In an odd claim, given Chan's job is to monitor Twitter, not to mention that they work together at the FBI. So here's those notes where Elvis Chan said he forgot that Jim Baker worked there. Jim Baker. All right. So this is a part of a deposition where he talks about Jim Baker. The question is, do you know anyone else associated with the Crossfire Hurricane investigation? No, but I wanted to add during those meetings that I had with Mr. Strzok, Mr. Jim Baker. So he knew about Jim Baker, and his job was to monitor Twitter, but he forgot that Jim Baker worked there. The Democrat Party, the same people that lied to us about frosted Lucky Charms being part of a complete breakfast. It's a weird meme. All right. Not sure how long this thread is going to be, but we're to real time. Thanks for joining me for the stream. Thanks for the one super chat. Thanks for coffees. If you want to support the stream, go to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. I've been doing all the Twitter files, no matter when they come out. So this one came out early. So we started streaming early on it. Then people can catch up on it after the fact. Do you guys like these streams? Okay, here we go. The tweets are coming out pretty fast. Who is Jim Baker? He's former general counsel of the FBI from 2014 to 2018, and thus one of the most powerful men in the U.S. intel community. Baker has moved in and out of government for 30 years, serving stints at CNN, Bridgewater, and Brookings. So this is a copy of Jim Baker's resume, which is extensive. As general counsel for the FBI, Baker played a central role in making the case internally for an investigation of Donald Trump. So Jim Baker was behind Russiagate, or was one of the main people behind Russiagate, and then he ended up working for Twitter. Trending right now says CEO of Twitter trending with Aaron Jones. I don't know who Aaron Jones is. So we're at real time. The last tweet was sent out 54 seconds ago. Thanks, Maximi. If you're tuned in, hit the like button. Get this thing. We're live. Not everybody else is. Oops. Some tweet just got deleted. Oh, that's weird. Okay. Oh, he just deleted his last tweet. That's weird. Reposted it. All right, so we're at number 26. You guys know what's happening, so you're all caught up. Do you want to check the floor price on Trump NFTs? Trump NFTs sold out. You guys know that, right? They went up to like $800 a piece. I'll check the floor price right now. I made some videos about it. I warned people about the Trump NFTs coming out. A few people bought them. They're still worth more than 3 times what they sold for new. So almost 0.3 ETH, which is $360 approximately. Hashtag, I can't even say what that hashtag says. Thanks, Trust Divine Mercy. Yes, we're live at an unusual time. Okay, we're up to real time. He just posted the last tweet 3 seconds ago. Twitter is good. Twitter is good for what it does. It puts out information quickly. I wonder if anybody else has an opportunity to replicate Twitter and take over. Like, what if Mark Zuckerberg decided that he was going to make a version of Twitter to compete? That might be, think that's a good idea or a bad idea. Facebook's in trouble. Meta's not doing great. They do have Instagram, which is huge. I'm told it's way bigger than Twitter. Twitter, they say, is not that big, but it's the main thing I use. When you're looking at news, Twitter is the spot, basically. Twitter is the spot you go for news, not Facebook, not Instagram. I don't even use those other services. Do you guys think I should set up a link tree? Then once I heard that link trees are going to be banned from Twitter, I thought to myself, oh, I better get one of those. That would have all my links, but I don't have that many. I have my YouTube channel, and then people can see most things there. And then there's the Twitter, there's YouTube, Twitter, and then you can follow my Substack to be on the mailing list. Twitter, I'm at Lift the Veil 401. You can find me by looking for Lift the Veil. I'm on Rumble. If you want to watch the videos on Rumble, everything that goes on YouTube eventually ends up on Rumble. But there on Rumble, I'm under my real name, Nathan Stoltman. I couldn't figure out how to change it. So, but it's rumble.com/lifttheveil if you'd like watching things there. But mostly we do things on YouTube and on Rockfin and on DLive. DLive, where we're live right now at an unusual time. All right. Let's see how we're doing on this thread. Yeah, Jim Baker was at Twitter. He was like general counsel or something, or he was general counsel of the FBI. Then he was pretty high up at Twitter too. And then Twitter has a bunch of former FBI people working for them. But then other social media companies also have a lot of FBI people working for them. FBI, CIA. So trending right now are Fauci Files, CEO of Twitter, Vox Populi, and Alex Jones. Twitter has been tumultuous with all the bannings and so forth. The Twitter files have been good, though, so far. Here we go. More tweets. Baker wasn't the only senior FBI executive involved in the Trump investigation to go to Twitter. Okay. Baker wasn't the only senior FBI executive involved in the Trump investigation to go to Twitter. Don Burton, the former deputy chief of staff to FBI head James Comey, who initiated the investigation of Trump, joined Twitter in 2019 as director of strategy. So the person who initiated the investigation, James Comey initiated the investigation of Trump. So Dawn Burton was the former deputy chief of staff to James Comey, and she came in as director of strategy. As of 2020, there were so many former FBI employees, BU alumni, BU alum, BU was that they created their own private Slack channel and a crib sheet to onboard new FBI arrivals. So this is an email to Jim Baker and Dawn Burton. Hi, Jim. Excited to have you here. I am no longer the newest Boo alum. Here is the Boo to Twitter translation chart I mentioned, adding Dawn so she can add correct. Again, welcome. Super pumped to work with you again. And here's a link or a chart showing, I don't even know. Twitter. Oh, it's showing the things that normally would be covered by the FBI and the way they're covered at Twitter. So it's like different topics and what they were called at the FBI and what they're called at Twitter. Like a short summary at the Bureau was called BLUF, bottom line up front. At Twitter, it's called TLDR. Too long, didn't read. So it's just a crib sheet of some sort, a translation chart between the Bureau, BU, okay. BU is Bureau, BU alumni, Bureau. I got light coming in. I better block it, huh? Can you guys see my Christmas tree? Not in this frame. I do have one. It is almost Christmas. I haven't really done much shopping for anybody, for me or anybody. I better do that. All right. We're up to, there's a minute since this last tweet. He's tweeting it pretty fast. But Gold Color says, why not go live on Rumble? It's actually kind of difficult to go live on Rumble. And the reason is nobody tunes in anyway when I go live over there. I'd have to be personally selected by somebody to appear on the homepage for me to get viewers on Rumble. They don't have an algorithm that does anything. So Rumble's not a good platform. But I appreciate that they allow free speech and it's better than some platforms. But compared to YouTube, it's awful. So as long as I'm doing content that's acceptable, then I might as well do it on YouTube. It's the best platform for users and for content creators too. Rumble's terrible. I mean, the technology is ridiculous. Michael Schellenberger, number 30, efforts continued to influence Twitter's Yoel Roth. In September 2020, Roth participated in an Aspen Institute tabletop exercise. Wow. So efforts continued to influence Twitter's Yoel Roth. They did an Aspen Institute tabletop exercise on a potential hack and dump operation relating to Hunter Biden. The goal was to shape how the media covered it and how social media carried it. So let's take a look at this. Aspen Digital Hack and Dump Working Group exercise the Burisma leak. So this is an exercise about documents that purport to be from Burisma tied to Hunter Biden. And it's exactly it's exact preparation for the Hunter Biden laptop leak, pretty much. So this is an exercise where they're claiming some fictitious information would come out. So it's a tabletop exercise. Specifically about Hunter Biden. So basically it shows that the FBI knew the Hunter Biden laptop was going to come out. So they specifically made exercises so that it would be suppressed when the information actually came out. Pretty obviously. So yeah, that's what ended up happening. So here's some what somebody else is tweeting about former FBI, CIA, NSA, DHS working at Twitter. This person found out that Twitter has at least 15 former FBI agents. Facebook has 115 former government agents that worked for either FBI, CIA, NSA, or DHS. FBI had 38 former DHS employees. The organizer was Vivian Schiller, the former CEO of NPR, former head of news at Twitter, former general manager of the New York Times, former chief digital officer of NBC News. Attendees, including Meta, Facebook's head of security policy, and the top national security reporters for the New York Times, the Washington Post, and others. So a bunch of people went to this. A bunch of important people went to this meeting, which purported to show a fake, like a fake tabletop exercise with information coming out about Hunter Biden. So all these people it was organized by the CEO of NPR, head of news at Twitter, former general manager of the New York Times, chief digital officer of NBC News. So everybody was there. Yeah, it was all prepped in advance to block the Hunter Biden laptop when it finally came out. We're up to tweet number 31. Thanks for tuning in. Hit the like button if you haven't. If you want to drop a coffee, do that. I'll check to see if anybody did. Thanks, Rip the Veil, for becoming a member. Appreciate it. Buy me a coffee. Thanks for that. That's cool. Thanks for joining as a member. I appreciate it. Am I logged in? I should log into my account. Okay, we're getting the latest dump from Twitter. We're finding out everything. We're finding out that the FBI asked for more information than they should have, that they kept insisting that there was Russian influence, that there wasn't. Wonder how long this one is going to be. I think Twitter is going to be okay overall. We'll see who ends up in charge. I think Elon Musk probably should have somebody else run it, but I don't think he knows anybody to run it. I don't think it's going to be Lex Friedman. Free T-shirt says, "Is the FBI watching the stream?" Basil, sorry, I can't figure out how to add to the $7. Could someone tell me? I thought you did figure it out, Basil. I could set up a different level if you insist. I only have it set up for 7. I thought you were giving more. Basil Vincira. I thought you added yourself. Thanks, Rip the Veil, for the nice donation. Appreciate it. I thought you figured it out, Basil. Yes, the FBI tunes into these shows. The FBI wants to know what's going on about them. This is disinformation. This is foreign influence operation. Okay. Number 32, by mid-September 2020, Chan and Roth had set up an encrypted messaging network so employees from FBI and Twitter could communicate. They also agreed to create a virtual war room for all the internet industry plus FBI and ODNI, Office of the Director of National Intelligence. So they set up their own channels where people could talk about, so employees from the FBI could communicate. All right. So that was all done in previous to the election. This is from September 2020. And then the Hunter Biden laptop came out in October. All right. This takes stamina, actually getting through all these things. You guys want to get the next one? You guys are waiting for the Fauci files, right? You guys want me to go live with all these different updates? I mean, they are a big deal, but it does take a little while to get through all of them. Are you enjoying the streams? Do you want me to go live for the next one too? Depends on when it is. I wish he would give me a schedule because I had no idea today that I would wake up first thing and have Twitter files. You guys doing good? Thanks, XRP Hitman. Maxima, it's 1 p.m. where you are. It's only 10 a.m. here. And these started dropping a long time ago at this point, because I've already been live over an hour. And when this drop started almost 2 hours ago. Sorry, I'm breathing into the mic. Okay, here we go. Maybe I'll play some music. Get you guys going. Trump NFTs we talked about. We talked about Elon Musk replacing the CEO with maybe Tom from MySpace. Thanks, Spaldo. Says keep us posted. Thanks, mods, for taking care of the chat. Thanks, everybody who's tuned in. We're live on the Twitter files. We're up to the latest tweet, number 32, which was tweeted 3 minutes ago. See, how many you guys want to take bets right now? It's just what the thread ends up at. This is a pretty long one so far, 32 tweets. Let's see what it gets up to. You guys seeing the memes? Okay. Yeah, people drop lots of memes. Okay. After this, I'm going to go get some coffee. And I'm going to have a smoothie. I skipped everything just to run this stream. Normally I get up, I have a smoothie. I start thinking about coffee. I've had a little coffee, but not enough yet. Okay. Come on, tweets. I'm ready for it to be finished though. Come on, guys. It's a pretty good drop so far. I think we got the important information from it. He's doing a pretty good job putting the tweets out relatively fast. You guys think the Trump NFTs are going to make it? Or if they're going to hold up? Right now, like I said, they're like $360. You guys think crypto is going to make it? I got to check in on the Bitcoin price. I think I have it in my Bitcoin is around 16.5. Ethereum's 11 to 72. It's about what I sold it for. I expect it to go lower. I think the whole economy is going to crash. Let's see how the stock market's doing. Stock market looks like it's down. Yeah, stock market's down. Gold and silver. Gold and silver are doing okay. But all right, let's check the thread. Okay. Number 33. Then on September 15th, 2020, the FBI's Laura Demlau, who heads up the Foreign Influence Task Force, and Elvis Chan request to give a classified briefing for Jim Baker without any other Twitter staff present. So they decide they want to talk to Jim Baker one-on-one. Hi, Jim and blank. Hope all is well. Can you help Laura Demlau and Elvis Chan schedule a classified briefing for Jim? Okay. I'm losing it. I don't know if I can keep. It takes so long to get through all this stuff. And we got the point already. So, and I'm struggling this morning staying up on it. It's exciting, but we got the idea. You know what? I've shown you guys what's interesting. It's just going to be this slow rollout of more information that's like this. And I don't know how long I don't know if I can hang with it. Sorry. You guys want to see the rest of it? You guys can tell me if you want to see the rest of it. Drop me a coffee or something. Because it's kind of like we got the point, I think. I'm really waiting for the Fauci files. You guys are tuned in. I know that. I'm not trying to fucking say that it's not cool that you're tuned in. Brian Ryan says, did Elon step down yet? I'm not sure. Jelena said, give me a nitro. Yeah, I know. I'm just losing it. That's all. Maybe I should go live later so I can just read through all the files and not have to wait 5 minutes between Twitter drops. I have to decide the best format for doing all this. Okay, here's number 33. Number 34. On October 14th, shortly after the New York Post publishes its Hunter Biden laptop story, Roth says, quote, "It isn't clearly violative of our hacked materials policy, nor is it clearly a violation of anything else. But," he adds, "this feels a lot like somewhat subtle leak operation." So here's a email from Yoel Roth, October 14th, 2020. "Hey, blank. Thanks. We're aware of this and are tracking closely at this time, given the alleged provenance of the materials. It isn't clearly violative of our hacked materials policy, nor is it clearly in violation of anything else. That said, the questionable origins here are obviously causing a lot of people to make references to 2016. And my personal view on this, unsubstantiated by hard evidence as yet, is that this feels a lot like a somewhat subtle leak operation. We'll be developing a recommendation for what, if anything, we want to do over the course of the day today." Okay. All right. So the FBI interfered. I can sum it up. The FBI knew about the laptop in 2019, the end of 2019. They spent 2020 preparing Twitter and Facebook for how to block the story by saying there was going to be a hack and leak operation involving Hunter Biden. They even did like a desktop exercise where they played out a fake Hunter Biden, Joe Biden story leak to prepare people to block it. And it got blocked. And the FBI also kept asking for more information. Also, there are a lot of people from the FBI who work at Twitter and Facebook and other places. And that's it. That's it. That's the drop. Okay. So that's what I can do for you guys on this one. So thanks for tuning in. I'll check my Buy Me a Coffees. I just told you everything that happened in this stream. View page. So thanks for supporting the stream. Okay, that's it. I don't have any more coffees. I don't have any more super chats. Oh, I do have chats over on. Thanks, Drunken Baked, for the. Oh, thanks for the super chats over on Rockfin. Thanks, Hogan Filter. Thanks, Drunken Baked. Thanks, Todd Fife. Thanks, Paul Helm. You guys are cool. Thanks for the tips over on Rockfin. You guys are making the people over on YouTube look bad. And there's going to be more information that comes out. Okay. But I'll cover it. You guys know I do my live show at 5 p.m. I'll try to do that today. And then I'll see what other information comes out. Okay. You guys got the drop. If you want to read the rest of it, go to Schellenberger at Schellenberger MD on Twitter. There will be more leaks coming out, but you guys got the gist of it. Okay. And we're going to wrap it up for now. Thanks everybody for tuning in. You can drop me a coffee anytime, even when the show's not on. And you can also check out our t-shirts at truthclothing.io. And I'll see you at the next one. For now, that's what it is. I ran